Youth group can offer a fantastic experience beyond games, beyond just the value of gathering, for the word, which is super important. But from the parents' point of view, I understand they're trying to get their kid as far ahead as they can, and getting them farther ahead than they ever have. So I would first encourage parents to have a conversation about your daughter's or son's needs and how can the youth group do that? And that may be, once again, through leadership development, putting them on a leadership team, using whatever gifts and talents. Your child is most happy when they're doing what God created them to do. And so if you have a conversation with the youth group, it's like, how does my son or daughter's passion fit within the context of this youth ministry that they can do something to glorify God and learn other things, whether it be it leadership development, whether it's getting up and sharing a devotion, whether it's doing graphic design, whether it's doing presentations, as far as the computer slides and things like that. So I think that comes, if parents are looking for high value, and they are, then that has to be a conversation with the youth worker to help them get their kids on track. And in the mix of that, the youth worker gets to hang out with that kid more, to disciple, to teach those things, because now they're teaching them a skill. It's not just the youth worker, but a volunteer or whoever is doing the training, soundboard. They're not just running sound, they're learning what good sound is. They're not just in the band, they're learning how to lead worship, right? So there are some high value skills that youth workers can offer. And if parents would say, hey, my child would really like to do this, what do they have to do to be a part of this? And then the youth worker and the parent work out a map, and they map out the success for this kid throughout their journey for the next 4 years that they may be there.
Yeah, and I think everybody wants to be useful for the kingdom. Like, I think it goes even beyond what we feel just in in a short term. Well, I want to learn how to do this, and I want to be happy participating in band. I believe there's a deep rooted spiritual need to be useful for the kingdom of God. And what a lot of times we don't do is we don't give students an opportunity to be useful for the kingdom. And we just kind of say, well, you need to come to youth group. And then we're like, well, they don't like it. So we throw the happiness thing at them, and we say, oh, well, they just didn't click. It didn't click for them because they didn't want to come, because it wasn't, whatever. But the reality is, like, they want to come and be useful. They want to come and be used by God to do something. And a lot of times we kind of we put them down by saying, hey, one of these days you'll be useful to God. But right now, whenever you're 14, 15, 16 years old, you have to wait in order to be used by God. And so there's that balance, I think, between like just saying, well, my kids aren't happy here, and so we're going to go find a place where they're happy. And I get that. Like, there's a lot of that actually does happen. But at the same time, we are designed to be useful, and we will be happy when we are being used by God. That's why, Ephesians 2:10, that you have been given these works to do. Like, this is what God designed you to do. And so as God has designed us to do these things, even whenever we're 12, 13, 14 years old, if we're not in line with that, and we're being pushed down and oppressed almost to not being allowed to do anything,
Right.
then obviously we're not going to be happy, because we're not fulfilling what God has given or what God has placed inside of us.